Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1996's The Quest. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_Idol. And as always, if you want to follow the show, you could follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. Let's get into the cast of 1996's The Quest. The Jean-Claude Van Damme joint. This film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Christopher Dubois, Roger Moore as Lord Edgar Dobbs, James Remar as Maxie Devine, and Janet Gunn as Carrie Newton. This was also partially written, because JCVD had to have a writing credit on this, and also directed by JCVD. So he had his hands on all pieces of this film.
It shows.
You were right.
I read somewhere that this, at least part of this script, was supposed to be part of Bloodsport or something along those lines, but it didn't make the cut, or I don't know, something along those lines. We don't do research, and the research I do, I don't really read through it, so take that and run with it, however you want to do that.
Yeah, he's Italian, so you know he can't read. Yeah, when you say part of the script was supposed to be in Bloodsport, do you mean the entire script was based off of Bloodsport? Because that's what happens. I'm just gonna sit down today and write a movie. It'll take me about 4 hours, just called Voyage. And I'm just gonna write down the fucking plot to Bloodsport.
I'm gonna write a movie called Sludbort. And it has nothing to do with Bloodsport at all.
I'm just dyslexic. What are you talking about?
Now it's gonna be, and we're gonna get JCVD to star in it. And it's going to be him at like 60. And it's going to be literally about an old man who actually joins the fucking gang tournament or whatever the hell this shit's called.
Oh, we see that too in this, coincidentally. Old man JCVD kicking the shit out of thugs that wandered in off the streets of Police Academy 3 set.
Why was Bobcat Goldthwait not in this opening scene? I need the money on the register.
That was good.
Hey, I try. They're not all winners, but I do try. So dude, let's just jump into this movie. So it opens, as you said, with old-timey JCVD in a bar where 3 punks come in, they try to rob it, and old JCVD beats 2 of them up, and then Bobcat Goldthwait runs away. And the bartender asks the old man where he learned to fight like that. And we get transported to 1925 Tibet as old man Dubois begins his story. And with that said, I got a quick don't do that.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, old-timey guys. If somebody asks you a question, says, hey, where did you learn that? How did you do that? And your story begins back in 1925 Tibet, keep that shit to yourself. Nobody needs the back in 1925 story, okay? There's only one person that can get away with it, and that's the bitch from Golden Girls.
Picture it. Sicily, 1912.
That was what I was thinking the whole time you were going on this don't do that. I was just like, Sophia Petrillo can do whatever she wants. But yeah, for the most part, you're 100% correct.
Yes. Now, outside of Sophia, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, this is why I'm a strong proponent of not asking the senior community questions of any kind. Because I don't want to go to story time.
No, if you've seen me out in public, you'll know my favorite saying is, mind your fucking business. Okay? So I mind my business. I don't ask old-timey people no questions. That's just not a thing. Because if you do, and this could be a don't do that for younger people, don't ask them questions about how did you do that? Where did that come from? Because you're going to get a pre-internet, maybe even a pre-book story. Okay? So you don't need that.
That includes questions like, what's that smell?
So anyway, back in 1925 Tibet, scrolls are sent out by Tibetan monks for a fighting tournament called not the Kumite, but instead Gang Gang.
Which I like a lot better.
Yes.
I would like to ask one question, though. How long in 1928 would it take a monk from Tibet to travel all across the globe to deliver a scroll and then go all the way back home? That a couple years?
Since the movie started in 1925, it would take them until 1928 to get him back to Tibet.
That's how uninvested I am in this movie, in this review. I just don't care.
It cuts here from Tibetan monk time to Dubois on the street. He's this street performer dressed like a clown on stilts and juggling, and he gets some guff from the coppers, and he beats them up and gets away with some hardcore parkour moves. And when he gets away, we see that he runs to a gang of kids who steal shit for him, for themselves. They're like these homeless newsies that are just like randomly running around New York City, like stealing shit from people. And they steal a big bag of cash from like the local mafia guy.
Get off of my street.
Him collecting the gang of orphan kids like he's fucking Ghislaine Maxwell getting ready to ship these fuckers off to Epstein Island is a little much.
Well,
and by the way, your grand plan also gets at least 30% of these children massacred when the mob comes in and just starts shooting up the place because you stole from the mob and then went home.
Yes.
Go elsewhere. Don't go home. What the fuck are we doing here? You're supposed to be a professional clown thief running Child King. And this is what you come up with?
The mob came in and he was like, I no steal from you. I don't know what you're talking about. Shoot these kids as I run away. First of all, these kids, they're like the dollar store fucking cast from Annie. And he has them stealing from the mob. But is he also their pimp? Because they bring him a big bag of cash and he's like, here you go, little Charlie. Here's a $5 bill. I'll keep the other $75,000 for myself. He just gives them a little bit of a cut. He's like, you get 2%.
Well, in fairness, they're not wearing clown makeup while giving a speech about getting respect. He needs every fucking dime he can get his hands on to get respect looking like that. 100%. Those kids are like, I need $5 in 1927? I'm good to go. Fucking whatever.
You hit every year except for 25. After Dubois and the Scooby Gang get attacked by the local mob, he beats those guys up. And as the cops get there, Dubois gets away by getting onto a boat ready to head out to sea or whatever. And he is found by that crew and put in chains and forced to, like, I don't know, carry like bags of beans or rice from the top of the ship to the bottom of the ship. And it's like a 40-foot ship. Like, it's not very big.
No.
And it takes them a while to find him.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi. Guys running childhood gangs as adults. This is a problem when you have childhood gangs because you get used to things like nap time. So when you become a stowaway after running away from the cops and the mob on a fucking ship you're not supposed to fucking be on, you get sleepy and you need to take some little nappies time. And that's when you get fucking caught and you're dumping the worst looking shit buckets I've ever. These guys are pissing Mountain Dew from the look of what he's throwing over this thing. I don't know what urinary health was like in 1911, but I know it was bad. because of green shit bucket.
I was gonna say it was either some normal Mountain Dew with some blood in it, or they were drinking Code Red too, because it wasn't great. It did not look good.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone in 1935 had blood in their urine. I think that was just a staple.
Now we're in the 30s. That's cool.
It comes from eating everything in tin cans.
After they get attacked by the pirates of Penzance, he fights his way off the boat with the help of Lord Dobbs, and Lord Dobbs invites him because he's a good fighter. He's a strong man, and I could use that strong man. And strong man, get on my boat. So they get to Thailand, where Dobbs introduces Dubois to a man named Cow as the best fighter he's ever seen. And he's only seen him fight for about 4 seconds on this ship. Best fighter he's ever seen.
Ever.
And Dobbs sells him to Cow to fight in the upcoming local tournament, underground, whatever. And we then get shots of JCVD on the beach, and he learns to become this Muay Thai fighter as he works for Cow. Again, carrying bags of beans or rice. There are more burlap sacks filled with shit in this movie than I've ever seen in my life. And I get it. It was the 20s or the 30s or wherever you're at, Corey, in the 40s. I understand that it's in this time period, but not everything was in burlap. But I think when JCVD wrote this, he was like, everything, burlap sacks as far as the eye can see.
Save money so you pay me as director.
You owe me.
Yeah, this is all it's typical JCVD. I have natural fighting skill and a good heart, and I'm naive and trusting. And this is why he runs a fucking gang of kids. Because literally Roger Moore's like, hey, there's a ship to America coming in a couple weeks. You'll be good. Literally winks at him. Like, you know what I mean? And he's like, a ship for me? I will go.
Yeah, he's like,
go to America.
Keep your head on a swivel, kid.
Cal even goes, a ship? And Roger Moore's like, now. Let's go over here.
We'll have none of that, see?
Jesus Christ, dude. He plays the dumbest people in his movies.
Yes.
I don't understand. Like, I'm not an actor. I would never proclaim to be an actor. Can't do it. Won't do it. That said, you're only good at doing one thing. Are you really acting at this point? Are you just a dumb fucking like nice guy with a heart of gold that likes cocaine and karate a little much?
I mean, I think you just nailed it. 6 months later, we cut to Bangkok. We see Lord Dobbs and his mate, Harry Smythe, at a cafe where Dobbs tries to pull some Corey and Armando shit by sending some champagne over to the journalist, Carrie Newton. And after talking for a bit, she tells Dobbs that she wants to go to the local Muay Thai fight that night.
And that's where I'd be out. I'd be like, I'm no longer interested in you, lady. You don't use me just for a story. You use me for my body like everybody else does.
You were right.
If I'm Dobbs, I'm like, you're from America. You're from like the New York Post or wherever she's from. Don't you hear my accent? You want to go see a Muay Thai fight? You don't want this dick? Come on. Let's slow your roll there, lady.
I'm James Bond now with a beard. And it's 1912. First off, you don't have any rights. If I don't want you to go to a Muay Thai fight, guess what you're not doing? Catherine Newton, or whatever the fuck your name is. I think that's the actress from Ant-Man. What's her name in this movie?
Carrie Newton.
Carrie Newton. Well, you know what? The same goes for you, Catherine Newton. Check yourself. Check yourself.
FYI, anybody watching this, I don't even know that Corey watched this movie. I think he's just making shit up as he goes along.
Remember that part where Ant-Man grew really tall and fought Jean-Claude Van Damme? was nuts.
I know we've covered this in other reviews, or at least I have. But here's a quick "Don't do that" for you.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, everybody out there. Don't be like Corey. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I say do them because I'm having a great time.
You know what? You are having a great time.
This is the best review we've ever done.
So in Bangkok, they run into Cow. They also see Dubois fight. And Dubois quickly beats the hell out of the fighter he's matched up against. And Dobbs and Smythe quickly attempt to leave. JCVD catches them before they leave. And he asks Dobbs to buy him back from Cow and get him into the tournament, the Gang tournament, so he can win a golden dragon.
So I know it's 1915, but Dobbs is like, or Dubois is like, hey, you owe me. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy me back and we're going to hatch this like really convoluted plan to steal a dragon. And Dobbs is like, you know what? You're right. I do owe you. For what? I don't know shit. You're the stupid shit that came with me. You're the stupid shit that allowed me to sell you. Yes. I don't know you a fucking thing.
You lied to me when you said there was a boat coming in 2 weeks. You owe me. Let's go steal a dragon.
And if I'm Dobbs, I'd just be like, oh, that boat's not here yet? You went to the wrong port. It'll be here in a couple weeks. Go to the other one.
They devised this plan then, with the help of Carrie, to get to Maxie Devine, who's invited to this tournament. He's the heavyweight champ in the United States. And they pretend to be a part of the Gang tournament committee so they can steal the map, so they can find the tournament and steal said golden dragon. This is the most convoluted plan I have ever been a part of in this show.
This was written by the same people that wrote The Living Daylights. And then, you know what they're going to do? They're going to steal the map, but they're part of the committee that doesn't exist, but everybody thinks it exists. And even though this is a big Asian tournament in Thailand, guess what? Not a fucking Asian's on the council, guys. That's how we do it.
It's 2 Brits, a Frenchman, and a white woman from the United States.
Right?
They're part
the
white
of the woman's the only one that makes sense, because you know she just forced her way in there.
Hell yes.
After a long journey, they finally make it to this like little hotel or inn, and they're having drinks and eating cobra, and they run into Cow again. And we find out that Dobbs never paid him for Dubois, and Cow is pissed that Dubois is going to fight against them after he taught them the way of ODB in the Wu-Tang Clan. And we also see another fighter named Khan come into the bar, wreck shit, and then just leave without saying a goddamn word.
If you reserve a table on Open Table and that shit is not available, you have every right to do what Khan does here. That's not right.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, everyone. Uncle Corey here. It's cool you have a favorite table, but here's the thing. You're not in the elementary school cafeteria anymore. Just go sit at another fucking table. You're not Norm from Cheers. You don't have a table. You don't have a fucking favorite spot at the bar. Get the fuck out of here with your entitled bullshit. Find a seat like everyone else.
See? Everybody thinks that people now are entitled. This shit was in 1837 or whenever you think it is. They were entitled back then.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been entitled.
Some shit, bro. They don't play.
There's always been entitled people. Now that Dubois' cover is blown and they know that he's not part of the committee, Maxie challenges him to a fight and Dubois beats him. And then Maxie gives Dubois the map and then just rides away on a horse. And the Scooby Gang then takes the map and they head to the Gang tournament and they sign Dubois in as Maxie Devine.
This is Maxie Devine, champion of America.
I feel like there's a gene that sometimes skips generations or something, but there's a lot of like middle-aged white men that just take their ball and go home.
Yes.
Like, come on, I want to fight. For the second time in 2 nights, the heavyweight champion got knocked on his fucking ass in one punch.
Yeah,
and he just like, fuck you! My grandmama gave me that chain, and he fucking runs to his horse and goes home.
You know why? So and I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my question. This Maxie Devine guy is the heavyweight champion, boxing champion in the United States. Was he fighting you and me? Because he can't fight. And this is why he's losing all these fights, because he's still doing the 20 style, put up your dukes kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is doing splits and spin kicks, and they're just fucking him up left and right.
Yeah, I don't know what fighting tournament he thought he was going into, but this is like UFC 1, where it's like a boxer versus sumo wrestler, right? Remember that shit? And the boxers always got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Because boxing is a sweet science where you don't use feet.
Yep.
And anything like that, I guess. So, like, him just thinking he's going to walk into this and be like, okay, put up your dukes. Now we fight my way. Dude, yeah, you're going to get your fucking shins kicked out every single time.
Dude, this was like
every time.
This was like a comedy. Like, he was like, put up your dukes. And he was like, gish, gish. Were those your feet?
Was that your feet? Yes, it's the feet. The feet uppercut.
After Dubois signs in as fake Maxie Devine, they're at the tournament orientation meeting where they're announcing everybody, and Maxie bursts in with his tiny little trash can world championship belt like he's walking to the WWE ring for SummerSlam. He announces here that he is Maxie Devine, but Dubois is going to fight in his place because he's the best fighter from the United States.
There is an overwhelming amount of white people proclaiming shit that they have no sense or no right to proclaim. Like, I'm Maxie Devine. He's cheated you, but now he's fighting in my spot because he's better than me, and it's happening because I say so. By the way, nice country you have here. First-time visitor to your fucking temple, first-time visitor to your tournament, first time ever fucking seeing you.
He was like, first-time caller, long-time fan.
God damn.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
The amount of just like, we're changing the rules. Okay, you changed the rules.
Because the white guy said.
It's that easy?
Yeah, they're like, yes, he could totally fight in your place, but if he loses, you get to live here in the Lost City for the rest of your life. So I just gotta live here? Like, do I gotta do shit? Am I a slave? Like, what they're just like, no, there's a condo over there. You just have to live here now. And you have to carry burlap sacks filled with shit just back and forth from townhome to townhome. And that's your existence.
100%. And I have to do this real fast because I'm stuck on the white people proclaiming shit thing.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, people of colors. Uncle Corey here. A white person has just proclaimed something, and it seems small and insignificant, like we're going to change the fighter. Not a big deal, you still get your fight, everybody's happy, and maybe he is a better fighter, so you have a better tournament, and it's more in the spirit of what you want, the best fighter in the world. Don't do it, because this is how it fucking starts. This is what we did to the fucking Native Americans. We came over and we're like, dude, we just want like this little piece of land. Oh, 2 people moved in. We need just a little bit more land. 2 people moved in. We need a little bit more land. And pretty soon, you got like a fucking patch of grass in South Dakota.
And pretty soon, they started handing out malaria blankets. And they were like, yeah, we're good. We're just going to take all this shit.
I noticed how you said they instead of we.
Won the Italians.
Oh no!
Of course it was.
You've never started any trouble.
No, we start trouble and then we switch sides when we're losing. We then get to the first round of the tournament, and it's like the World Cup of fighting. So you have each country represented, and they fight each other, and you have all the different styles of fighting. And after a bunch of fights, we finally get to see Dubois representing the United States versus Germany. And after taking a beating and going down, Maxie screams, "New York City! New York City!" And Dubois gets back up and beats the German.
Okay, Maxie Devine might not be able to box for shit, but this guy can slow-mo yell inspiration like nobody's business.
Yes, he can.
That is basically his role. And what's funny is, it's like, dude, I watched you get your ass beat twice. And now, even after the first round, you're going to stick around to train JCVD? In what? How to get your fucking nose broke?
Listen,
the fuck can you do?
He is the perfect American. He can talk shit with the best of them, and he gets his ass kicked at every fucking turn. You talk about liberal arts confidence. Like, I got gym muscles, so I could talk shit, but as soon as I get into a fight, I'm fucked, because these guns are for show.
Yeah, those are gym muscles for sure. Which is a lot, saying like there really weren't gyms in like 1913. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
They were lifting those like giant iron kettlebells. Hup, 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 hup.
You mean burlap sacks?
Yes.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, everyone. Uncle Corey here. I'm gonna say this one time, and I don't ever want to fucking hear it again. Ever. Africa is a continent, not a fucking country. Every other fighter is from a country. And the one black dude that's there, they're like, Africa. All of it? All of it? It's a fucking continent, you stupid fucking morons. Australia is the only continent and country. That's it.
We then see here Khan fight against Cow's fighter, and Khan kills him in the ring, and this upsets Dubois, and he rushes into the ring to check on the fighter, and then he wipes the blood of the dead fighter on Khan, and he's like, ah.
Khan! This is what he said. In Bloodsport, he said, Jackson!
There you go. Same. So we cut to the next day, where Dobbs and Smythe approach Dubois and tell him to throw the next fight because they need him healthy if they want to steal the Golden Dragon. But Dubois then gets to that fight. He fights the dude from Spain, and after going down, he goes against Dobbs, and he beats the hell out of the Spanish fighter. And in the semifinals, Khan wins against the Japanese sumo wrestler guy. So now Dubois has to fight Khan in the finals.
So you have every Italian in this movie has been a mobster. All of Africa is a country. And now we've moved to Spain, where the dude literally fights Ole style. Holy fucking shit.
I'm from Spain.
I fell out of my fucking chair laughing in his first fight when they hit that gong and he went gong. I pissed my goddamn pants. I don't even care who knows it.
I'm pretty sure that was the subdued version. I think the original direction was you have to stomp your feet and snap your fingers and go, ole. It was literally like, what country are you from? What are they known for? Okay, you're doing that while you fight.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
JCVD. You have a writing credit, which means you were technically in the room, and you directed this.
Yes.
So you chose to have this motherfucker from Spain fight that way.
Ole!
You racist fucking pig.
You know what they did cut out of here, though? Because what I did notice is there wasn't an Italian fighter, and they crossed the line with the Italian fighter. He had this like bowl of pasta on his head, and they crossed the line with that one. He was fighting with like sausages like tied together like nunchucks. It was weird, so they had to cut that one out of the scene.
Showed up with brass knuckles and hair grease.
That night, Dobbs steals the tiny German Zeppelin because apparently the big one wasn't available. He attempts here to steal the dragon as Dubois fights the fighter representing China in the semifinals. And Dubois wins the fight, and alarm sounds as Dobbs and Smythe are found stealing the dragon. They're caught and they're put into a prison cell in the Lost City, where JCVD goes and visits them in the cell, and Dobbs is like, I've never said I'm sorry ever and meant it, but I am so sorry that, bitch, first of all, you're sorry you got caught. Can we just say that? We'll start there. Second of all, what you already know throughout this whole movie and throughout every single turn, Dobbs has been a piece of shit. He sold you to Cow. He bought you back from Cow, didn't pay Cow, and you found that out. And then now he's telling you to throw the fight, and he goes and steals the tiny, whatever, Zeppelin, and tries to steal the dragon while you're in there. Like, he's screwing you at every turn, but you're like, I'm going to fight for you, and we'll get you out. Because they go to the goddamn mock trial that they have afterwards, and he steps up, and he's like, I'm going to fight for these two men that I don't like and barely know, and if I win, you set them free.
Yeah, he just like comes out and again does some white man proclamation shit and just tells them like, no, you're not. I know they like stole your ancient golden dragon. That's like the highest fucking crime you can commit here. And they broke all kinds of traditions and respect laws and all that kind of shit. But here's what's actually going to happen if I win this fight, because I only got one more guy to beat. They live. It's cool. And again, they're just like, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, why not?
Already broken the laws and the rules of this by him signing in as Maxie to begin with. And then Maxie's like, he fights for me. And they go, okay. They just make concessions throughout this entire fight just to let him. Like, why couldn't you write in the script where he somehow earns his way into this tournament? And Cow gets him into this tournament.
Wait a second. Hang on. You want to write a script where the white protagonist earned his way into something?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Come on.
No.
Is that not a thing?
We call this manifest destiny, bitch.
I thought pull yourself up by your bootstraps was a thing. Is that not a thing?
That's for other people.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
That's other people. That's that coded language you don't know about.
Yeah, I'm just a dummy. I don't get it.
Outside of the race, Dobbs should be executed because his plan was basically Lex Luthor's plan for escaping prison in Superman 2. That's literally they stole the entire Ned Beatty, Gene Hackman fucking fleeing prison in Superman 2 scene.
Yes.
This is insane. Like, that's supposed to be joked about in movies like Office Space, not actually executed in movies like The Quest.
Exactly.
So it's not enough that you stole Bloodsport, but because there was no theft scene in Bloodsport, what you had to do was rip off Superman 2 and just block that in between the rest of Bloodsport.
This is where JCVD gets his writing credit. He was like, I was just watching Superman 2 last night, and I have a great idea for the third act.
Damien, I love you, and I'm so happy you send us these requests, but in all heartfelt, earnest, honest sentiment here, go fuck yourself. This is horrible.
We finally cut to this fight with Khan, right? This is the final event. Dubois gets the holy hell beat out of him. and he gets knocked out of the ring. And then he brings the fight outside. Once again, breaking all the rules. It's like, now we're going outside. So they go outside. He continues to get smashed by Khan until the turntables turn. And Dubois gets his full split spin kick game on. And he then uses his speed to unload a barrage of punches to knock out Khan. And he wins the fight. And he's given the golden dragon necklace. He saves Dobbs and Smythe from death. And then they cut back to New York City, where he finishes his story to the barkeep and he saves the kids. And we get all of the what happened next for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And he closes a book called The Quest, written by Carrie Newton. I know I just covered a lot there, but I wanted to get to the end of this. So when the movie starts, the barkeep says, "Hey there, buddy. How did you learn all them fancy moves? You're an old man." And he goes, well, back in 1925 or 35 or 22 or whatever, I went to Tibet. But he's telling the story like it's based off his memory. And then the movie ends with him closing a book like he was reading him the story out of a book.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, writers. Uncle Corey here. If you're doing a first-person narration, they can't be reading from a book that was written by somebody else. So unless his pen name happened to be Carrie Newton, and he just wrote this book called The Quest, what the fuck are you doing? This is basic English we're talking about here.
Yes.
My God, this is so bad. I had the same thought. Like, half of the stuff I remembered from this movie left me, like the year it was supposed to be set in.
Yeah.
Because the ending, I'm like, was he just reading from a book? I was so confused.
I went to the library today. Let me tell you a story. Like, I think it would have been a better ending if when he closed the book was titled Bloodsport. And he was just embellishing on all the facts from Bloodsport and kind of made up his own story.
I think
that would have been a much better ending to this. And then I closed the book and it says Bloodsport. And they're like, we can't do that, guy.
If they had done that, that literally would have been the best movie ever made. That would be on top of Tropic Thunder for best satire I've ever seen in my life. Because I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. But no, dude. Look, the whole movie is bad.
Yes.
The convenience of things that need to happen for them to pass through all these different things are just, it's too much. Nothing really flows at all. There is no cohesive story whatsoever. You're trying to bring too many characters in. Carrie Newton is an afterthought. And all of a sudden, like at the end, her and JCVD are like hugging and like they're the reporter and Frank Dukes from Bloodsport. Yeah. And it's like, no, they're not. There's no story there. They at least gave the reporter somewhat of a story in Bloodsport, even though she was on screen for 5 minutes. But that's because they didn't focus on 7 other people. Yeah. There's way too many people in this movie. Yeah. And you're trying to build character arcs for all of them, and it just fails. Dobbs, for all intents and purposes, doesn't change. He has no character arc. His buddy has no character arc. Carrie Newton has no character arc because they don't even really say whether or not her dad is truly the owner of the newspaper. Because she says that, and then people bring it up, and she kind of gets all squirrely, like maybe she's lying. And then when she calls the newspaper about the story, they're like, "Aren't you that broad we got? Aren't you that broad we got rid of? Go back to Thailand." See, like they don't want anything to do with her. So
this is what I think. This is what I would have loved to have happened.
we got another movie request.
I would have loved to have this acting, including JCVD's acting in this.
Mm-hmm.
I would have rather had this acting in Bloodsport to make Bloodsport better, because the acting in Bloodsport, and again, it was years before and yada yada and all that. It was early on, so the acting wasn't great. It was a lot of no-name actors and that kind of thing. But in this one, you actually have some decent actors in this film who have been in other films and are good actors.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to see this acting in Bloodsport. Just make Bloodsport a better movie, and I don't know, set this one on fire like they should have done with the 8mm fucking video, reel-to-reel tape.
I truly believe they tried to make Bloodsport a better movie with this, and this is the best JCVD had.
Yeah.
I truly think he gave us his best shot. This is what we ended up with. It's tricky when you do a period piece, man.
Yeah. Whatever year it is.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to capture the fucking heart of the nation and the emotions following the Civil War. It's just...
Yeah, it is what it is.
Reconstruction was a tricky time, man, and you're just flying over it.
Yeah, I'll end my piece with this. This is not a good movie. It doesn't hold up. Even though the acting in Bloodsport was worse, I loved Bloodsport versus this.
Oh yeah.
Like, Bloodsport was just such a better movie. But yeah, this one ain't cutting it, man.
No. The best thing they did with this movie was they actually called it Muay Thai instead of kickboxing.
Yes. Well, they learned. They learned some things.
Yeah. Congratulations.
They learned stuff and things. Unfortunately, they didn't realize how to write a script.
No, we're still struggling with basic grammar, as we learned.
But that's all I got. Do you got anything else for this one?
No.
All right. Good. Just no.
No.
Just no. Good. All right. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1996's The Quest.